Alessandro had everything a man could wish for: a cleverly constructed empire, luxury homes, high-end cars, tailored suits, exclusive trips. Yet when he returned to his villa in the evening, a heavy silence greeted him, broken only by his solitary footsteps on the marble floors. There was no one waiting for him, no laughter, no embrace. His love life had been a series of disappointments. Too many women interested only in his money, expensive gifts, elegant dinners, never really in him. This had built an armor of distrust in Alessandro. He had stopped trusting, opening up, believing that someone could love him without ulterior motives. He looked over his shoulder, always, on every occasion. And when he met a new person, his instinct told him to be careful. His status attracted much more than his person. His elegant car or his company, everything shone, but inside he had a constant sense of emptiness. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. His mother, a strong and wise woman, had taught him the value of money since he was a child. Despite his wealth, Alessandro did not like to show off or waste. The villa, once cared for in every detail, was now neglected. The last cleaning lady had been fired after stealing some silver cutlery. Alessandro had not hired anyone since then. He preferred to live in disorder rather than risk being cheated again. One autumn evening, tired and alone, Alessandro walked out of his office. He needed to breathe, to free himself from suffocating thoughts. He was walking with his head down, immersed in his torments, when he looked up and saw her. A little girl, sitting on a bench with her knees pulled to her chest and her hair uncombed. Her eyes, large and frightened, stared into space. Alessandro slowed his pace. He was not a man accustomed to meddling in other people's business, but this scene struck him straight to the heart. "Do you need help?" he asked, crouching down in front of her. The little girl looked up. "I'm hungry," she said softly. "What's your name?" she asked tenderly. "My name is Maria." Alessandro suddenly felt small, fragile. "Come, Maria, let's go get something to eat." They went into a fast food restaurant nearby. Alessandro realized he hadn't even had lunch that day. They sat at a table, and while Maria devoured her food, he watched her in silence with a lump in his throat. What was a little girl doing alone on the street? At the end of dinner, they said goodbye, but Alessandro went home restless, unable to get Maria out of his head. That night, he slept little, tormented by 1,000 questions. The next day, as if driven by an invisible force, he passed by that road again, and Maria was there, in the same spot. Alessandro stopped and smiled at her. "Have you eaten today?" Maria shook her head, and so, again, they went to dinner together. In the following days, the scene repeated itself, always at the fast food restaurant, always at the same table. Maria began to tell us about herself, little by little, shyly. His parents, Giuseppe and Laura, had lost their jobs. They had been evicted, living on the streets. Every day was a struggle to find a safe place, something to eat. Alessandro listened, feeling his heart break. The cynicism he had built up over the years crumbled in front of that little girl and her family. They wanted nothing from him, except a little dignity, maybe a chance. One evening, after feeding her her usual sandwich, Alessandro made a decision. "Take me to Mom and Dad," he said to Maria. When he met them, Giuseppe and Laura looked at him suspiciously, ready to defend their little girl. "I'm not here to judge you," Alessandro said. "I'm here to help you. I have a big empty villa. I need someone to take care of the garden and the house. I'm not offering you charity, I'm offering you a job, and Maria, a safe place." There was a long silence. Alessandro felt the tension, the fear of trusting. But then he saw Maria's eyes shine. He heard Laura's trembling voice saying, "Really? Can we come?" From that night, Alessandro's villa came back to life. Giuseppe began to take care of the garden. Laura cleaned every corner with dedication. Maria finally returned to school. Alessandro discovered a new pleasure, sitting at the table with them, listening to Giuseppe's stories, laughing at Maria's pranks, feeling the house full of voices and life. It hadn't been easy at the beginning. Alessandro had to learn to trust, to let go, to understand that not everyone wanted to take advantage of him. But day after day, the armor he had built cracked until it gave way completely. He found himself smiling for no reason, feeling his heart light and enjoying simple and authentic moments. Maria became the light of his life. When he came home and found her doing her homework in the kitchen when she ran to hug him, Alessandro understood that he had found something he didn't even know he was looking for: a family. Not one built out of duty or appearance, but a real family made up of people who accepted him for who he was, not for his bank account. The warmth that strangers were giving him back was much more than the gesture he had made for them. Over time, Alessandro also learned to forgive himself for the years spent shutting himself away, for the missed opportunities. He watched Maria grow and felt that every day was a gift, a new opportunity. And on those quiet evenings, sitting next to Giuseppe and Laura, while Maria enthusiastically recounted her day at school, Alessandro finally understood what it meant to be rich. Because true wealth was not stocks on the stock exchange, nor luxury cars, nor corporate bonuses. True wealth was there, in the warmth of that family that had welcomed him and that he himself had saved, finding, perhaps for the first time, a way to save himself. And while the sun was setting behind the windows of the villa, illuminating the dining room with golden light, Alessandro smiled, knowing that his house was no longer empty, that his heart, finally, was no longer alone. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.